University of Wisconsin River Falls student Alyssa Funk committed suicide last month after being bullied and harassed following a role she took in a pornography film that she did. Basically, Funk, who is a straight A student, she had her life ahead of her. She was studying to be an anesthesiologist, as it said on this castingcouchx.com site. She did this adult film, and as soon as it was released, it spread like wildfire around her school. Apparently,
not her college, mostly her high school.
Right, not her college, her high school. I believe she was a freshman. In this college, and it trickled back to her Minnesota high school, at which point all of her friends or former classmates went around essentially bashing her on social media networks, Twitter, Instagram. I think we have some clips up of things that were said. Wow, you're a thought, which I don't know that slang personally, but apparently it means prostitute. Does her dad know? Nothing brings a school together like a porn star who graduated last year. You know,
this porn shaming seriously makes me sick because everybody watches porn. Did you guys know that there's porn on the computer? Did you know that?
I had no idea.
No idea, right?
I don't even know
everyone does this, and then especially for these kids to do it. Like we all know about the bullying. We talk about the cyberbullying all the time. But my guess is, we obviously don't have all the history on her, but my guess is she was probably using some of the money she made either to put herself through school or buy books or some of that kind of stuff. While these people who are attacking her, half of them are probably have their college education paid for already.
Right.
So there's so many levels.
Yeah, I mean, and regardless what she was doing it for, she chose to do it. And you know, the thing is that it's just really sad. And watching this interview, you know, she's sitting on the casting couch for one thing, and they're asking her if she has a troubled past, if she comes from a troubled family history or anything like that. And it was very eerie to me. It almost made it gave the illusion that there was some type of getting off from either her having a horrible childhood or her from her being like this girl next door type. And both of it were incredibly unnerving. I didn't like hearing it at all. And also the way that it was reported actually on this news station, it was actually a Fox News network, it seemed like the story was being dragged out, and then at the end, Casting Couch X, which I'm saying now, was almost plugged. You know, this clip is still up, and I don't know. It's an incredibly tragic story. She went down and she got a shotgun and apparently took her own life at the river's edge, and it was because of this. And you know what the thing is? She actually had some rebuttals to the slandering she was getting online, which were, you know, porn star status with the A-OK sign and famous for days. And this was obviously a cover-up for some serious, in my opinion, emotional issues that were going on inside, and she was trying to mask it. And it's sad that she found no other way out other than suicide.
There's just nothing good to say. It's just hideous. And you know, what makes people, you know, it doesn't take much for somebody to reach out, and I'm sure some people said nice things to her at that time, but you know, if you do a bad segment, if you make the mistake of reading the comments, or even you think you did a good segment, you make the mistake of reading the comments.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just a mistake to read the comments. And then, you know, and then like you'll read a couple of terrible things, and then one person says something nice. Yeah. And it can really, you're like, oh, look at that. Yeah, the people are back. We're back. Yeah. And so, I don't know. It's just, you want somebody to be like, hey, Alyssa, hey man, what you do is great. You know, by the way, you were beautiful. If they happen to see it, you know, and everything's fine. It's fine, and it passes. Like they're gonna have something else, and you know, and it just, I don't know. You know, it was clearly back home. You'd think she would have thought this through. It does suggest, obviously, that things were not totally right in the world. You look at the girl Belle Knox at Duke University, who totally took the shaming and the bullying that she got and just turned it. She just felt empowered by it. It seems. Who knows what was really going on in her head? But she managed to step up and be proud of it and essentially say back, "Screw you." And I presume that at some point, people at Duke will basically forget about it and move on.
I mean, I think honestly, and this goes across the board, in any case, if you own something, you're less likely to catch flack for it. Like if you own it. If you feel like there's something shameful about what you're doing, then people are going to, you know, really exploit that shame. And this is what happened here. And unfortunately, she
every time I try and I back off a little bit on the bullying and that, because I don't know, and I don't know what the research shows. My guess is, and it's a guess, that kids are not being bullied more now than they used to be. And I don't know whether teen suicides are up. I really don't.
Right, it's different now because it's this relentless online thing. But
right.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that.
And that's the main factor.
Yeah.
Is that it's different, and you can do it without any repercussions because you can just walk away from your computer.
Yeah.
You can lay out. You can drop 3 or 4 horrible hits, and then walk away.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether we're treating it right, big picture or not. But obviously, if what we get to in 5 or 10 years is that there's significantly less bullying, well, then I don't think anybody can argue that that's not a good thing.